Steve?
Yes.
Oh, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you applying for the job.
Always.
When's the earliest you could start, Tyler?
Kyler.
Mrs. Anderson?
You can call me Marlene.
Okay, Marlene, we appreciate you applying for the job.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
Let's just dive right in.
Boom, go.
What's your availability like?
I'm boycotting daylight savings time, so I'll either be an hour early or an hour late, depending on the seasons.
Tell me a little about yourself.
My mom says I have to get a job, so that's why I'm here, because she wants me to get a job.
Why did you leave your last job?
Of course, Harry, he was, I just felt like he was looking at me in a particular way. Of course, he was blind, so I don't know why I felt that.
Why did you leave your last job, Steve?
Fired. Next question.
So what do you think you bring to the table?
I can read people's energies. Let me read your energy real quick. You're a coyote. Congratulations. I don't run errands, and I don't answer the phone. You know what I do? I look hot. 24 hot. Whatever you need, I can do it. Janitor, CEO, cook, I can do it all. And I have done it all. And I will do it all.
Okay, so you do have experience in all of those areas.
No, but I just believe I can do it. So availability, you know, that's kind of a week-to-week thing for me. You know, I really just kind of like, we'll see. So
what do you consider your weaknesses?
chocolate, candy, Snickers,
Okay.
Reese's Pieces.
Okay. Becky, I think we're done here.
Do I get the job?
Yes, 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 and yes. Thrive Nation, we're going to have a brief conversation followed by a longer conversation about the idea of the group interview. Now, I just going to be very vague, but Charles, you've witnessed it, you saw it, you're around it, you've seen it. Not going to mention the industry, not going to mention the client, not going to mention the name. Just very vague. But you run Koloff Fitness, you and your wife run KoloffFitness.com, a great business, and you really have a high standard. You want to have a clean gym, high quality experience, you want to have great people that work there. We get it.
Yes.
However, by default, you're not going to have great people that work for you, which is why we've got to do the group interview every single week. Every week we have to interview candidates.
Well, you tell me that you say they're good until they're not, and you have to have somebody in your bullpen ready to go. So we have to have a weekly group interview.
So what would happen, hypothetically, if you, I was just talking to a client who just said they've been averaging one, I had to fish it out a little bit, but they've been doing one group interview per 8 weeks. What would happen to your business if you only interviewed candidates once every 2 months?
Oh, gosh, we'd be out of business.
Why?
Well, because generally there's turnover. We have 160 employees, and there's always somebody going out the door, and there's always somebody coming in, and we always have people shadowing, and we always have to have people in the bullpen with those skill sets ready to go.
Now, I'm going to pull this up, folks. I'm going to show it to Charles. He already knows this, but I'm going to show it to him for ultra accountability, so I'm not making stuff up, okay? And this is what we're talking about is facts related to the employment market we live in today. 85% of employees admit to lying on their resumes. That is according to Inc. magazine, and I'm pulling it up. I'll put a link to it on the show notes, folks. And I think that number is probably lower than what I see. I think there's more than 85% of people that lie on resumes. Charles, are you shocked with that? I mean, you have great employees that work at Koloff Fitness now, but I mean, are you shocked that 85% of employees are admitting to saying, oh yeah, I lie on my resume?
I am not shocked. I've seen that firsthand many times.
So you're not shocked by that?
No.
Okay. And then it's the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, which isn't certainly the arbiter of all things true, but the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, they found that 75% of employees steal from the workplace. Now, I know this to be true. Maybe someone listening out there says, no way. Is that shocking to you that 75% of employees would say, yep, I do steal from the workplace and I do it often?
Everything you're saying, Clay, I would at first, as an employee mindset, I would say that's terrible, never. But now that I've been in business for 20 years, I definitely agree with all of those statements. And I learned from you all about cameras and audio and tracking, and boy, you start to find some crazy stuff.
Now, I'm going to tell a story to you and your wife that happens to be true here. I had a wonderful client that I was working with, and they had just finished telling me about employees stealing from the workplace. They were in my kitchen telling me the story. So this client is in my kitchen. We used to have this thing called Festivus on the eve of Christmas Eve every year, the 23rd, where we would have people, mostly my clients would come. We have a big party at my house. and this longtime client was like, I can't even believe how much people steal from the workplace. And they were just so mad. And I had said, well, that's normal. 85% of employees, do admit to lying on the resume, and 75% of employees steal. So I'm not super shocked by this. Well, then comes into my party a family member of mine. I'll be very vague as to who it is. They show up and they're like, hey guys, woo, good to see you guys. And they show up with a massive amount of alcohol. And I'm going, why do you have a massive amount of alcohol you're bringing to my party? One. Two, why is it in all small containers? And they said, at the workplace, we're allowed to give a small bottle of alcohol to a customer as part of the service. And they don't really check. So I just took like 300 of them.
I've had similar things.
And so the entrepreneur, my client, was so mad at what they were saying. And the two worlds collided, the employee mindset versus the employer mindset.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's how it is, though. Do you think?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So, you say 75% of employees steal from the workplace, and they do so repeatedly. I'm not shocked. 85% of employees lie on their resume. So we go back to it. This wonderful client, because part 2 of today's show is going to be all about doing the group interview and how it works and why you got to do it and when you got to do it. And it's got to be at the same time every week. You have to do the group interview.
Come on.
You have to interview candidates at the same time every week. Every single Wednesday at 5:30, I interview all candidates. And on Friday, I typically interview candidates as well if I need to. But before we get into that specific step-by-step linear training on how to do the interview, I just want you, as a business owner and a man who has high standards, you and your wife set high standards for the level of excellence you want to have at Koloff Fitness. And if you go to KoloffFitness.com, you're going to see the gyms are clean, bathrooms are clean, the equipment works, the staff is sharp, but you didn't get there by letting it drift. So what would you say to somebody out there who's listening who's like, really? I need to interview candidates every week? What would you say?
I would say if you want to stay in business and have a top-performing company, I would definitely have a weekly group interview and judge people based on what they do, hold accountable, have team huddles every week, have a team huddle and an interview every week, and follow up on what your key performance things are that you want to track. If you don't do that, you will drift and it will not succeed.
So if you're out there today and you're saying, how do I hire, inspire, train, and retain high-quality employees? This is the show for you. And I'm just telling you, we just did our business conference. Dr. Zellner showed up. I did not expect Dr. Zellner to show up at our business conference.
Oh, yeah.
And he showed up in a bedazzled suit, having a good time. And people say, how is it that the guy who runs Oklahoma's largest optometry clinic apparently seems to never work? How is it that a guy can run the state's largest auto auction and the state's largest optometry clinic and a bank and a medical center, and he appears to those as to never work? How is it possible? Funny story. One of our conference attendees called me, and they go, I'm on the flight with Z. He's going to Vegas. And I think Z decided to go to Vegas while at our conference.
Last minute.
Yeah. And so the question is, how does he have the time freedom to do that? And what I can tell you, having been around him for years and having been mentored by him and worked with him, he just fires people that won't do their job, and he can do that because he has the interview process going.
Correct.
But the opposite of that by default would be what? For business owners out there that don't do the weekly hiring process.
Well, if you don't do the interview, you're going to be held hostage, and you're either going to have to do the work yourself or you're going to have to lose business and eventually shut down.
And then you're going to live in a van down by the river. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, on part 2 of today's show, we're going to get into the details of how to hire, inspire, train, and retain high-quality people. That's Charles Koloff. If you haven't been to the website, if you live in, Arlington, Texas?
Bartlesville, Oklahoma.
Bartlesville, Oklahoma.
Joplin, Missouri.
Joplin, Missouri.
Topeka, Kansas.
Topeka, Kansas.
Arlington, Texas.
Arlington, Texas.
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City. And you're looking for a gym you
Dallas,
can trust.
Texas.
Dallas, Texas. You just go, type in Koloff Fitness, go to the gym, check it out. The first month is how much, or how much does it cost to sign up?
It's $7 to sign up.
$7. Will you be there?
And you do get.
Will you be there?
You get 1 month free. $7 down, and you get 1 month free.
People want to meet your wife. Is she going to be there at the stores?
She will not be at the store.
Okay, all right. Okay, people. Okay, but folks, still check it out. Even though Amber will not be there and Charles probably will not be there, go check it out. It's KoloffFitness.com.
Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show on Talk Radio 1170. Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. It's Business School Without the BS. Featuring optometrist turned entrepreneur, Dr. Robert Zellner, with USSBA Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrivetime Show on your radio or podcast player. And what we're doing right now is we're going to answer the question of how do you run a group interview? Eric Chupp, you're a business coach. Can you explain to the listeners what even is a group interview? We have a listener who's obviously listened for quite a while, and they want to know how to run a group interview, but I want to break it down just a very fundamental question. What is a group interview?
So it's not what I find most people think it is. Typically, when you say the word group interview, people think that you're going to be sitting in front of a group of people who are interviewing you.
Right.
And it's actually the exact opposite of that. So you're going to be in a group of people that are being interviewed by one person. So as a business owner or manager, you're going to get all of the job candidates, all the applicants are going to come into one single interview in a group, and you're going to do it all at one time.
Now, the reason why you do that is according to the U.S. Chamber, if you can look up that stat, but according to the U.S. Chamber and CBS News, I want to make sure we have it fact-checked on the show notes so all of the Thrive Nation can actually prove, or you could prove to yourself that what I'm saying is true, because the statistics are going to seem alarming when you first read them for the first time.
True.
But according to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and CBS News, 75% of employees are stealing from the workplace, and most are doing so repeatedly. I mean, think about that for a second. I mean, Chup, does it ever shock you how many people that will come to the group interview? The group interview is scheduled for, let's say, 5 p.m. on Tuesday night, let's say.
Okay.
Out of 30 people that said they're going to be to the interview, by the way, the candidates don't know it's a group interview. They just think it's a job interview. Of the people that are supposed to be there on time, what percentage of them do you feel like, from your perspective, actually show up even on time?
It's less than 50%. Almost every time.
It's brutal.
It's unbelievable.
So according to the U.S. Chamber, again, 75. Chup, what were the stats showing there?
So we've got, let me get it here. So yeah, like you said, 75% of employees steal from the workplace, and most do it repeatedly, according to CBS News on Money Watch.
Not good. And we'll put that link on the show notes, but that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Also, there's all sorts of statistics you can find out there. You know, that show that the average, Forbes did a study and asked employees, what percentage of you are wasting time? They just asked, hey, let's be honest. We'll do a survey. We won't tell your boss.
Be anonymous.
But what percentage of you are wasting your time? And they found that 31% of employees are wasting their time.
On this same article right here, it says a typical organization loses 5% of its annual revenue to employee fraud.
Ow!
Same study, same article.
It's not good. It's not a good thing. And so here's what I want to put into your brain there, Thrive Nation. Here's a notable quotable. It says, this is from Andrew Carnegie. This is the guy who built the Carnegie Steel. He's a guy who started working at the age of 13 to support his family because financially they were not in a good spot. He says, as I grow older, I pay less attention to what men say. I just watch what they do. That's Andrew Carnegie. So here's the idea I want to put into your head. Is it you're going to have to interview at least 4 people to find one person who is honest.
At least.
So 75% of employees are stealing from the workplace according to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, right? So 75% of them are stealing. And according to my personal research, I'm just telling you, if we interview 20 candidates this week, maybe 2 of them who have the skill have the character needed to work for us. They have the skill, but they don't have the character. From my experience, 2 out of 20. So the question is, how do you find good in people, and how do you run a group interview? This is how you run a group interview. One is you schedule a specific time. You schedule a specific time each week to do your job posts, okay? So you have to do those weekly job posts. If you don't do weekly job posts, you're going to lose. If you don't do the weekly job posts, you're just going to lose. You have to post every single week on Craigslist, on Indeed. You have to do it. The second is you have to have a weekly time scheduled to interview. You have to have a weekly scheduled specific time. Why do you have to do that? Because anybody who applies for a job, you want to send them a pre-written email, And the pre-written email will let them know, hey, you might be a good fit. We'll go ahead and interview you this Tuesday night at 5. And you just send the same email to every single person.
Every single person.
And that way, when they show up all at one time or they don't, you don't waste hours of your time. You just waste 1 hour of your time. And then when you actually interview the people, you want to have a game plan. You actually want to have a game plan or a script for the interview. And this is what you want to go over in your interview. One, you want to go over the compensation for the job. Okay, you want to go over the compensation. All right. First thing, you want to go over those expectations. You want to go over the expectations. What are you expecting from the applicants, right? The expectations. The second is you go over the communication. How will you communicate with me if we work here? The third is you want to go over the compensation. And the fourth is you want to go over any questions they have. Now, when you talk about expectations, you want to get into the values. You want to get into specifically what makes your company a great place to work for. You want to get into all that. You want to create a polarizing environment where people know quickly whether they want to work with you or not. You've got to go over, one, the expectations, two, the communication, how you're going to, if you work here, you're going to be expected to work here, 9 to 5, and your boss is Carl. And if you're ever running late or whatever, you call him. This is how we communicate. You don't text or you don't email or whatever your policies are. Third, this is the compensation. This is what you get paid if you work here. Then fourth, you go over, do you have any questions? Chup, you've seen the group interview done week after week for years.
Yeah.
Why is it such a powerful super move for companies that are struggling to find really good people?
Well, here's one of the hang-ups I see with a lot of clients that we implement this with is you have to do it every single week, like you were saying just a minute ago. If you're waiting until you need somebody to start looking for them, you're never going to find that A player. It's going to be super rare that those stars align, that A player, that A team member that can perform, that has the character and the skills that you need to do it, are going to be looking for a job that exact moment you're looking to hire. So you have to do it every single week to keep that pipeline of applicants full.
So let me give you an example. Back in the day, here's kind of a fun story for you. When I was running DJ Connection, before I sold it, we were doing about 4,000 events per year at djconnection.com.
That's a few.
And what happens is every weekend you have to do about 80 weddings, which means you have to send out 80 separate men to go and provide entertainment for 80 separate weddings. Now, to be fair, sometimes a DJ would DJ Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so you'd have one guy to do 3 shows. So usually you'd run a squad of 45 active DJs, 80 on your roster, though. Okay, and no other DJ company in the country could relate to me. They'd ask me to come speak at these wedding seminars and wedding events saying, hey, you're the entrepreneur of the year. Could you come in and teach us how to run a wedding business? And I told them, well, what you want to do is you want to never be short on employees. You never want to be short. You never want to have to put up with somebody past their expiration date. Because if you have 80 DJs, and it sounds crazy, but I would call a guy and say, hey, I've got a show for you this Saturday. About half of them would refuse to do the show. They'd say, where's the show? And you're like, at the, this is back in the day, by the way, before the Mayo Hotel was totally renovated. This is when it was first opening. I'd say, it's at the Mayo Hotel. And they're like, downtown?
What?
I don't want to go downtown.
Sketch.
No one's downtown. And then you'd say, well, okay, I have an event for you at Forest Ridge. And they would say, sure, I'll do that one. And then you call the next guy. Hey, I've got a show for you at the Mayo Hotel. And they'd say, Mayo Hotel, downtown. Now everybody wants to DJ there.
Right.
But back in the day, no one wanted to be there.
Did you guys ever do anything at the castle in Muskogee? You know that place?
Yes,
there?
we did.
I love that place.
I used to have to really have to motivate people to get them to want to do that event. It was kind of a hell gig.
Yeah.
Well, now we had our holiday party this year at the Mayo Hotel. It's beautiful. But I had these DJs. I had to get these 80 people to commit to doing these 40 shows this Saturday and this Friday. Now, here's what's crazy. Is out of 40 guys that were scheduled, Chup, do you want to guess how many of them wouldn't show up for their load-up time? Now, the way it worked, your show's supposed to be at 8 o'clock start. Usually it's like a 7 o'clock start.
Right.
So if you were DJing tonight at the Summit Club, you'd have to get there at 5 o'clock to set up.
Right.
But I had your load-up time would always be 5 hours before the show.
Make sure no snags, everything's going to go
What percentage of the DJs do you think that wouldn't show up for their load-up time?
Half. Quarter.
Yeah. At least 1 out of 10.
Wow.
1 out of 10. So with 40 guys going out, I had to pay 5 guys just to hang out, and that's probably where the name 5 Guys comes from.
Guys,
I'd have 5 guys that I would pay just to hang out at the office just in case they were needed. They were called runners. And so this is something that's massive. I never had a problem where I didn't have enough DJs to cover my shows because I never stopped doing the group interview.
Exactly.
So again, I'm repeating the action steps here. You have to have a weekly job post. Every single week, I would recommend that you post on Indeed and Craigslist, and you never stop. Someone might be saying, well, how much do I spend on that? Depending upon the business, I would recommend you spend at least $200 a week on Indeed and Craigslist every single week. Craigslist is $25 per post per the time of this recording. It changes all the time. Second is you've got to have a weekly specific scheduled time. Chup, why do you have to have a weekly specific time, and why can't you change it from week to week every week?
Because you will end up missing it yourself if it's not a rock in your schedule. And it's something that you can't change. You need to put that thing, like we talk about all the time, as a rock in your schedule. Fill up the sand of life around that rock, because this has to happen. It absolutely has to happen. If you're sick, if whatever, you have to make this interview at the same time, because that's already going to be out on your ads. People are already going to be expecting to be there, so you have to have it at the same time every week.
Now, the pre-written email. Why do you have to have a pre-written email that explains the specific time of the interview, the location of the interview, and all of the details of the job? Why do you have to have that email pre-written?
The whole point of this system is to save you time. It's to save you time from, one-on-one interviews, from responding to every single person with a, typed up custom email. So you have a canned response that you send out, telling them all the details so that you can immediately do it. You can send it out as soon as that comes in. You can do it in your meta time, but you have to have it canned so you can just send it immediately.
And then why do you have to have a game plan for when the candidates actually show up for the job interview? Why can't you just wing it? Because a lot of people say, well, I just wing it. I don't even know how I do it. I just do it.
Because everybody can tell when you're winging it.
Oh.
And then talented people with high character are not going to want to come work for you. It's not inspiring to show up to a job interview where it seems like the person who either owns the company or is running the job interview it looks like they don't know what they're doing.
And if you don't know how to do a group interview and you're asking yourself, well, why do I need to do one? And again, it's because 75% of people, according to CBS News and the U.S. Chamber, are stealing from the workplace. According to Forbes, 31% of people don't even try at the job. So Andrew Carnegie, if he were here, the late, great Andrew Carnegie said, as I grow older, I pay less attention to what men say. I just watch what they do. And unfortunately, 3 out of 4 people don't have what it takes to hold a job in America today. They just can't be consistent enough to get it done. And so if you're struggling with hiring, sales, marketing, all of these things, hiring might be just the tip of the iceberg for you. Maybe you need help with your accounting. Maybe you need help with optimizing your website. I would invite you to take advantage of our offer we have going right now, which is unbelievable. All you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com in iTunes. So just type in Thrivetime Show.
Thrivetime, one word.
And then the word iTunes. Thrivetime Show and the word iTunes. You go up to iTunes, and if you subscribe to the podcast.
Yep, subscribe first.
And you simply write a review. Again, just subscribe and write a review of the Thrivetime Show in iTunes. Then you get a free conference ticket to attend our next in-person workshop, which is in February, right, Chuck?
February 16th and 17th. It's a Friday, and those tickets are normally $99.
So you're going to get $198 of free stuff as a result, two tickets, as a result of simply subscribing on iTunes and writing us a review. When we come back, we're going to be talking about what if your spouse or family member is not driven or passionate about anything as it relates to the business. Wow, what an awkward question. Why would you email that to us to info@thrive15.com? It's the Thrive Time Show on your radio.
Make sure you never miss a broadcast by signing up for the Thrive Time Show podcast.
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has, by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listing and ranking there with Google.
And also we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. Right now, our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to, first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten. People really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need. That script has been refined time and time again. It wasn't a one and done deal. It was a system that we followed with Thrive in the refining process, and that has obviously the 411% shows that system works.
Yeah, so here's a big one for you. So last week alone, our booking percentage was 91%. We actually booked more deals, more new customers last year than we did the first 5 months, or I'm sorry, we booked more deals last week than we did the first 5 months of last year from before we worked with Thrive. So again, we booked more deals last week than the first 5 months of last year. And it's incredible. But the reason why we have that success is by implementing the systems that Thrive has taught us and helped us out with. So.
Some of those systems that we've implemented are group interviews. That way we've really been able to come up with a really great team. We've created and implemented checklists. That way everything gets done and it gets done right. It creates accountability. We're able to make sure that everything gets done properly, both out in the field and also in our office. And also doing the podcast, like Jared had mentioned, that has really, really contributed to our success. But that, like I said, the diligence and consistency in doing those and that system has really, really been a big blessing in our lives. And also, it's really shown that we've gotten the success from following those systems.
Yeah. So before working with Thrive, we were basically stuck. Really no new growth with our business. And we were in a rut and we didn't know.
The last 3 years, our customer base had pretty much stayed the same. We weren't shrinking, but we weren't really growing either.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know where to go, what to do, how to get out of this rut that we're in. But Thrive helped us with that. They implemented those systems. They taught us those systems. They taught us the knowledge that we needed in order to succeed. Now it's been a grind. Absolutely, it's been a grind this last year. But we're getting those fruits from that hard work and the diligent effort that we're able to put into it. So again, we were in a rut. Thrive helped us get out of that rut. And if you're thinking about working with Thrive, quit thinking about it and just do it. Do the action, and you'll get the results. It will take hard work and discipline, but that's what it's going to take in order to really succeed. So we just want to give a big shout out to Thrive, a big thank you out there to Thrive. We wouldn't be where we're at now without their help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Morrow. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. 1 month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you're looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from 1983 to 1985.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Cockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours, where he does these tours all across the country, where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building it into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy. Elon Musk, kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant, and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down, because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us. This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. As you can see, it's nice, right? So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood. This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
The Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops, because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.